was so frustrating, and they dragged it on and on and on. And all they had to do was say, well, I'm sorry, and let's start again. So,
Okay, so Grant, now I'm gonna show you how to play. I'm gonna go to like
okay,
I'm gonna go up for a second.
okay.
Here, so you can like learn how to play. Watch some basics. Basic stuff.
And your dad just stopped it.
That is pretty
Did you like hold on to it pretty quick?
good.
That's all good. All right.
What's he happy?
Yeah.
Smith Island.
Yeah.
Crash.
Sweet.
My birthday.
Okay.
I already showed it to Mommy, so I'm gonna erase it.
All right. Hold on. Mom,
Yeah?
we're starting.
Okay, so we have to be quiet?
Yes.
Okay, we have to be quiet, so we gotta start the show. Can I go in there?
Okay. So welcome everybody to Banzai Interactive Cooking. Today is my wife's birthday, so we're going to do
Reminder, please
What?
subscribe.
You want to say hi?
Please subscribe.
Yes, please subscribe. Today we're going to be cooking Maryland-style crabs and a 9-layer Smith Island cake. So let us get started. Just to show y'all the little live crabbies I have in my sink here.
Hit the like button, please.
Hold on, let me turn my volume down a little bit in my headphones. All right, there we go. So we got these like a couple of hours ago, and they're fresh off the boat and live. So how you do Maryland-style cakes is different from everything else. Is they're steamed in apple cider vinegar, Old Bay, and beer. And so I have a pot that has a steamer at the bottom of it, like that. And I'll take that out and put 2 beers in. We're cooking just 1.5 dozen today, but you want enough to 1 beer doesn't quite cut it. It might, you don't want the beer to completely boil off during the cooking because we're going to be cooking them for about 20 minutes. And then what I have is some JO seasoning, which is very similar to this Old Bay seasoning. If this is all you can get, this is what people usually use. This is a little bit better if you can get it. It's also from Maryland. So I'm going to put, actually for this, I'm going to put a little bit of the Old Bay in the bottom. Maybe a little bit of both in the bottom. And then we put about 1 cup. Well, I'd say a little less than 1 cup. Let's see. I usually never measure this, but since we're doing the show, yeah, about at least 3/4 of a cup of apple cider vinegar. And this unfiltered Bragg organic that's the best one, at least in our opinion. All right, and then we get some very angry crabs and put them in the pots with our steamer basket in. And then let me make sure no crab can grab my cord here. And then you put them, give them a layer. Get a nice layer of crabs in, and then you kind of want to just put some seasoning right on top of the little heads, which really makes them mad. And then you say, "Thank you, crabbies, for dying for our wonderful dinner." And this is my wife, Allison. Hey! Whoa! He almost got me.
I better not distract the chat.
That one almost got me. See, today's show involves danger.
Please subscribe. Please click the bell.
Yes, for those,
Please hit the like button.
for anybody that's on YouTube, yes, please do. It will help. And hopefully after this week, I keep saying it, but since we finally have a stable video platform in my AltspaceVR, I'm going to make my greatest effort to work on the YouTube and especially the Twitch aspects of the show. Hopefully I'll be growing this and doing bigger and better things as we go along. Because I usually, this time I didn't show my prep, but usually I do some prep before the AltspaceVR events. And so if you want to see the whole thing, you can kind of watch what I do ahead of time. But today I did not film any prep because it was mostly just making cake and icing. But I will describe how I made the cake and icing and give you the recipe as we go. All right, that's the last of the crabs. And you want a good bit of seasoning in there. Can't really put too much, and I'll give you all another shot. This is what they look like inside the pot. Oh, yummy. All right. Then we're going to transfer that to the stove. Put a lid on it. Turn it up high. And I'm going to set my timer. Ah, wait, wrong thing. Got to hit the timer. Yes, start. Why won't you start? There we go. So I set my timer for 22 minutes. And if you want to, once you hear everything starting to boil in there, which is after about like 10 to 12 minutes, you can turn it down to like medium-high heat. It doesn't need to be like screaming high the entire time you do this. All right, now what I have done is, let's see. Let me give you the recipe. All right, so the Smith Island cake. I actually looked this one up on the Maryland Board of Tourism. So if there's any standardized recipe, this is it. So we have the ingredients for the cake is just 2 cups of sugar. Lily, I'm trying to tell people what the cake is. Okay, go in your room and tell her about them, please. All right, so we have 2 cups of sugar. 2 sticks of butter, 5 eggs, 3 cups of flour, half a teaspoon of salt, heaping teaspoon of baking powder, 1 cup of evaporated milk. Now, what I did change about that, the evaporated milk, is in the past when I used to bake, to get an extra what's the word I'm looking for? Juicy, creamy cake. You put sour cream into it. So I substituted. If you're putting more of any sort of liquidy thing in, you have to take it out. So instead of 1 cup of evaporated milk, which the recipe called for, I used about a half a cup of sour cream and then a half a cup of the evaporated milk instead. And then 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract and half a cup of water. And basically you take your sugar and your butter and your eggs and you cream those together, and then you get your dry ingredients and you put those together, and then put the dry into the mixer, add the wet slowly, add your water, add your vanilla at the end, and there you go. And then you basically, I baked each of these layers, which you can see here, in the oven at 350 for about 8 to 10 minutes depending. Some of them took 8, some of them took 9, some of them took 10. And there you go. And then I lined them just to keep them from sticking to each other. You just get these, like I got these cake, but these are actually for making tortillas, but they can also be used for separating cakes. All right, so now I don't have a cake, like a cake tray, so I'm going to improvise something here. And you can hear the crabs start turning around. Just put this down here, this down here. I'm going to take my 2 wire racks, and then eventually what's going to happen is I'm going to be pouring. I have two frostings. One is the regular frosting that the regular recipe called for, and the other is a mirror glaze, because I've never made a mirror glaze before and I wanted to learn how to make one. So the regular frosting is right here, and I've left it out to cool. It's been cooling for a good 2 hours now. You don't want to put it in the fridge or else it'll seize up. And especially with this, since the layers are so thin, I want it to be able to spread without like taking the cake with it. But the cake is pretty dense, so it should handle the icing just fine. So for the first icing, let me give you that too. It's 2 cups of sugar, 1 cup of evaporated milk. In this case, I used half a cup of evaporated milk and half a cup of sweetened condensed milk, 5 ounces of unsweetened chocolate, 1 stick of butter, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. You pretty much get the everything but the chocolate. You get everything going, and then add your butter like after it comes up to heat. The butter goes in last, but the sugar, the evaporated milk, the chocolate, and the vanilla all go in there, and you got to make sure to stir it, because I did make a mistake in that I turned it up without properly whisking it, and so the first batch I actually burnt and I had to start all over again. So I'm glad I wasn't taping that part. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I've turned this plate upside down, because eventually with the mirror glaze, you don't want to spread it, you just want to pour it. And so I want it to go, it's going to go through my grates here. Let's see if I can tilt the camera down a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. And just collect in the cutting boards, and then you can scrape that up after we're done, and save that, and because it can be reheated and reused as many, a few times, as long as you don't burn it. All right, so let us begin. And I want to be able to have something to move and be able to move it off, because once I start, I cannot stop. And we're just going to cut it right on this reverse plate, or keep it. This will be my tray. All right. So, hey, sweetie, can you look up like where the Smith Island cake originated? Since I'm going to be icing for a second, because usually my lovely wife will look up the facts and find out stuff that I didn't even know about what the hell I'm cooking. I just learned how to cook it. A lot of times I don't know exactly where it comes or how it came to be. All right. And so that is layer 1. Cool. We got through that pretty harmlessly. Nothing really. The cake is handling it just fine. All right, we go. Number 2. All right. I'm kind of excited. None of us have ever had this before, and I used to bake for about a year and a half because I wanted to give it a try. I've cooked in nearly every kind of kitchen you can possibly imagine, including a college. Well, I cooked at UGA in a huge kitchen that was a cafeteria, a bar, and a fine dining restaurant, all in the same hotel. And I've cooked at several places. I live in Savannah, Georgia, or right outside Savannah, Georgia, and I've cooked at a few places downtown that are really nice. So, but right now I work, strangely enough, at a taco place where it's one of the best jobs I've ever, it's one of the jobs that I enjoy the most. Have you found anything?
Yeah, the Smith
cool.
Island cake dates all the way back.
Come here, no, come around.
Smith Island cake dates all the way back to the 1800s. Island inhabitants would make these multi-layer cakes with watermelon for their autumn oyster harvest. Fudge was used because it lasted much longer than buttercream icing. As more surrounding areas became aware of the Smith Island cake, it began to gain fame on the eastern shore. The sign, pictured below,
which I'm not going to show you, can be found on Smith Island, explaining the history and the significance of the dessert. Today, you can find Smith Island cakes at several Maryland restaurants. If you ever see it on a menu, give it a try. Over the years, however, many local eateries have experimented with different flavors, such as coconut, lemon, and even red velvet.
And yes, the coconut one was the other one that I saw on the Maryland Board of Tourism website. And I didn't think you would like that.
No, I don't like coconut.
I know.
Chocolate would have been fine.
Well, that's what you got.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Lemon would have been the only other thing I could have dealt with.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have looked as nice.
No.
This one, I think, is going to look fantastic.
I think so. It looks pretty good now.
Yeah. I'm glad I did the second glaze, because by the time I get through all these layers, I'm pretty much going to be, that icing is going to be done.
Oh, okay.
So, I was smart. And my daughter has been like, she helped me stir it, but was tasting it from time to time as I did this, of course. And then if one, this side is a little bit lopsided, so I'm going to put a little extra right there. All right. What are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4. This is our 5th layer. Let's see how fast I can do this. And that's the sounds of trying to get my daughter to clean her room. And this is the joys of doing a cooking show when you have a family in the house. Sometimes there's the background.
Sorry.
It's okay. I know everyone's excited to see each other. We have my mother-in-law here too to enjoy the cake and crabs. And my mother in Arizona is very jealous right now because I called her and she's probably watching on.
Hi, Michelle.
Let's see. That's not wobbling. Now it's now it's starting. I have to be a little more careful because I am noticing the higher it gets, it's wobbling a little bit. So I can't be as forceful as the first couple of layers. Now, if I really wanted to, I could have a glass of like hot water to dip my palette knife in, and that will kind of melt the frosting a little bit or make it a little bit more pliable. So if you find yourself, if your icing is kind of is a little too thick, that is an option. Or for the top of it, if you're not making a mirror glaze like I have today, you can use it to make the icing very smooth. If you have a slightly hot or at least warm palette knife. Almost done. Almost to the part that's going to make me really nervous. I gather my rest of my icing down here. And then we're at, okay, right now I'm going to I've turned the crabs down to about medium high because everything's boiling real good, but I don't want it to be like, you know, on full blast. There's no need for it. want to spin both ways, you can. I mean, don't be afraid to spin your plate, and or if you have a cake table, it'll spin for you. But always position your cake, and so you're not it's generally you want to work right here. Going like this is kind of weird and not as comfortable. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna make the whole thing. I might have to dip into the mirror glaze. I think, oh, maybe not. Yep, maybe not. I think I've got just enough. Hey, Lil, you want to show them your Lugia?
Oh, yeah. I'll go get it.
Usually we have a little bit of Lily time where she shows off something or other, and her new Pokemon is she got one that she likes this week. Well, she likes all her Pokemon. They're her current obsession.
Hi, this is my Lugia. It's one of the biggest Pokemon I've got. This is my Lugia.
What kind of type is it?
It's a flying psychic type.
Wow. These are the things you have to start learning when you're a dad.
And with one
Or a mom.
of Lugia's wings, it can knock a whole house down.
I never paid attention to any sort of Pokemon until we had her. Alright. And then the last layer, let me wash my hands a little bit. Now with the mirror glaze, I will give you the recipe in a moment, but one of the other things that it said is that you need to make it at least 2 hours ahead of time, because you have to let it cool. You don't want to put it in the fridge again. You have to let it cool to optimum temperature. Oop. Come off this plate. I did not put a little sheet underneath this last one, and I want to make sure I don't break it. Come on. Yay! I did not break any layers. Alright. Wash my hand one more time. Alright. Let me give you the mirror glaze. Let's see. So this one was on chefiso.com. Seemed pretty competent, so that's the one I used. So we have it was 24.5 ounces of chocolate, which is a lot. 1 3/4 cup of water, 2 2/3 cup sugar, 1 3/4 cup condensed milk, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and then 38 grams of powdered gelatin. And what you do, and that's a lot of gelatin too, so you take some cold water, you put all the gelatin in it and let it bloom a little bit. And then you take sugar and the condensed milk and that gelatin water, heat that up to boiling. And then you put all your chocolate in a bowl, and once it boils, you cut it off, you pour the liquid over top of the chocolate, and then you stir, and wait, there was, yeah, no, this one didn't have any butter in it. Stir until everything's completely combined and all the chocolate is melted, and then you just let it sit there for 2 hours, which is what I've done. And let's clear off. Now this is going to be the messy part. Let's see if I can get a good shot.
Hey, Grant, watch this.
Alright, so this is what the mirror glaze looks like. And then I'm going to pour So what we're gonna do, what I'm attempting to do, is pour it evenly over the whole thing, enough to cover the entire cake without touching it. Because once it's on, you basically just want this to go over the cake and just cover it without touching it. Because once you touch it, then you'll lose the effect.
You are fun watching it.
So I'm gonna go over the sides. And then there we go. Oh wait, this one's there's a lip. One side has a little lip that I don't know if it's gonna get coated. Oh, there it goes. I got it. All right, and then that is all I should need. See? Oh nope. We got a little bit on this side. Let's see if we can get it. Let's try to. I'm only touching it on the sides because I just want it to get into that lip. This is a bit of a weird one. Usually with normal other cakes, you're not going to have this because they're not going to be 9 freaking layers. Oh, I got a little bit of a lip on this side. There we go. If you gotta touch it, I was barely. All right, and I think that has got it. Now, what I will attempt to do, I'm going to put a towel down in my fridge. I'm going to wipe this off, and then we're going to put it in the refrigerator for a minute or a few minutes while I teach y'all how to pick a crab. All right, let's see, what can I use here? Oh, I'll use my spatula. Okay, so basically, I'm just going to try to take as much of the chocolate off and into through the screens right here, so I can get a hold. Actually, let me get a bowl. Let's see if I can just kind of scrape some of this into the bowl, and that is the sound of crabs being done. So I'm just going to cut the heat off, put the crabs off to the side, let them sit with the lid on, and they'll be fine. They can continue to, it won't really cook them anymore. And as long as you don't really, keep the heat on, they're not going to overcook. But at this point, they are done, and you can just keep them hot, but off the heat. I'm going to get some of this chocolate right on my counter, but oh well. That's what I get for not having a cake board or a very big sheet pan. I should have gotten one from my restaurant. All right, and then I'll see if I can clean that up a little bit after I get it into the refrigerator. Oh wait. Here we go. Oh, come on. Ha! Ha! Victory! Oh crap. Sweetie!
Yeah?
Help!
What do you need?
I need you to open this door. Thank you. There we go. Now we're just going to let that set for a few minutes.
And I can eat some of this?
Yes, you can eat some of that. And then collect this as best you can. And then, as I said, you can reuse this later on something else. Another good thing to do is make some, just scoop some ice cream balls and pour this, like have them ready, have your glaze ready, and your ice cream balls all scooped out, and then refreeze them. Like you scoop your ice cream balls, put them back into the fridge, and
We do have ice cream.
yeah, we do. We could do it, but it would take a second. And I don't have time to do it for the show today.
No.
But I was going to make the suggestion because we did that once or something like it. Like if you go to a bakery and they have like, you know, a really shiny frozen dessert, then that's basically what they've done. Is they made some mirror glaze and then put it over you have to get whatever you're putting it over cold first, and then put the mirror glaze over it and then freeze it again.
You want me to start washing this one off?
Sure. All right. And there. Oh wait, I can just add this back to my chocolates right here. And then I will pick that up later. Thank you, my love.
Mm-hmm.
I can do that. It is your birthday.
Yeah, but I gotta get these crabs on the table now.
This is true. And we have
Crabs.
And we have to show them. Okay, let me get one out, so it'll be cool enough for me to show how to do this.
Okay.
Because they will be hot when they come out.
Yes, oh yes, they will.
I'll get this buddy right here. And hey, Dave. See, that's Dave.
Hi, Dave. Hi, Dave. And a shout out to our local Warren Seafood for having the crabs that we needed at an excellent price. Family run, family owned.
In Maryland right now, what did your dad say? They were like $100 for a dozen or something like
Half
that?
dozen.
$100 for a half dozen jumbos.
Yeah, jumbos. These are larges.
These are larges,
so
but-
they would
and-
probably only be, $80
Yeah,
for a
but
half dozen.
if you live in southern or the coastal Georgia, then you can get them for about $25.
Yeah, we got a dozen and a half for $38 tax included.
And that's a really good price.
Yes. So, more reasons to visit the Low Country.
You can also get them that cheap in Louisiana, but the thing is, the way Cajuns do is a little bit different. We boil ours with crab boil, and it's a good way to do crawfish. But even my grandparents, when they were still alive, they said, no, there's no way Maryland style is better, and they tasted them in Maryland. As of all the kinds of ways I've had crab, Maryland style is the absolute best. All right. The best way, let's see if I can get a closer shot here. Alright. The best way, claws are pretty easy. I try to crack it about right there. And then once in the front, once in the back. And then if you're lucky, you get that whole little piece coming out like that. And then if you get it like that, then that's great. And then where's my little seasoning? What I like to do is I have a little dipper. And I just go boop. Dip it like that. And then this piece, so this section also has a good bit of meat in it. And again, front and back is my general technique. Might have to turn it to the side. And then this is where you kind of want a knife. So you stick your knife in there, and you can kind of get that piece out, and you get this nice little piece like that. And then dippy dip. Oh, so good. And sometimes you can pull out, my wife is much better at, she can pull out the legs sometimes, and if the crabs are light, sometimes you can pull out the legs, and a lot of meat comes with them. See, like that, that's a good chunk of meat. Sometimes she gets almost the whole crab out. And you get your crab down to this right here. And then you just stick your knife up under the penis and wedge it down like that. And then I just use the knife as a lever. Let me put this over here. I push down to get that top part out, and that will also bring some of the lungs. And then you just get this part, you get out the little innards, and then this part right here, these little doodads right there, those are the lungs, so you want to take those out. And then, done with that, and then what I do is you want to separate these two sides, so you have two halves, like that, and then you cut these, put your knife right in the center of that, and you press down because you're trying to separate those into two pieces too. And now you kind of end up with two pieces like that, and that's where you can start digging out your crab meat. And then, so it's made of chambers. This one is where the back fin comes from. It's the biggest part of, that's where the most expensive meat is. There's this huge big chunk. Sometimes it comes out all in one big piece. And then you just kind of dig through. Once you have it separated, the two chambers are easy to dig through to get out your crab meat. And here's another really good piece. One side is going to be, alright. One side is going to be a little more chambers than the other. This side is going to have some smaller ones. Now you can kind of start by pinching the bottom and kind of push the crab meat up, and then you can kind of get it out like that. Sometimes that doesn't work, and you're going to just kind of need to pick it apart with your hands. And then get all that. And then also what I do is I'll just, if the smaller ones, I'll just take my thumb and just push it right up. But you have to make sure, like make sure you get out all the shell, because that's when you have a big nice bite like we're making right here. You don't want it's ruined if you have shell. So make sure that you get all your shell out, and then I'll take half that crab and have a piece like, you know, a nice chunk like that, and so good. And so now for the second half, let's see how fast I can get it. I'll do a fast one, and then we're going to do the cake. And then sometimes you get some meat stuffed in there. We all get to try the cake. Y'all can all come in here, and we can all have a bite for everybody.
I'll even let y'all sing me happy birthday.
It's the torture today is that we have to eat some cake before we eat the crabs. I guess I'm the only one that gets to eat a crab before we have the cake, because I wanted the icing to set a little bit. All right. And again, right here, that little part, that's the back fin. That's the expensive meat, and that's the biggest chunk you're going to get in all of this. I still have chocolate on my thumb, I just realized. And also, you know, tear little pieces off if you have. Like, I can also go like that. Once you've done this a few times, you start developing your own style. My wife does it a little bit different than me. All right, and then that is the rest of the crab, and then you get a nice, another big piece like that. Get it all scooped up into your hand. Mm. Best crabs ever. All right, now, crabs are bad from Dave. No, Dave, crabs are good if you're still in that room. All right, so let's see how our cake did. I've got little cake rounds all over my floor now. Woo! Alright. I'm just going to leave. Sorry for the not the greatest presentation. But there's this knife. And alright, y'all want to come in here?
We have to go in. We have to go in. Yeah. We gotta go in, Lily.
Oh, I want to taste this Smith Island cake.
I'm not going to try it.
I want to try the Smith Island cake.
Here we go. Oh. See if I can light it.
It's okay for me and try to light it?
No. Alright. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Allison. Happy birthday to you.
God's blessings to you. God's blessings to you.
Before the 4 falls over.
Yeah. Woo!
Let's take out the candles. Let's eat this cake.
Okay. Now, I'm going to slice it from here. Let's see.
Wait, you
Here.
just
I'll,
do you need a plate?
yeah.
I'll
Here.
get plates.
Okay.
Ready. Ooh.
All right, here.
The cake looks good enough to eat. Yummy!
Cakes are supposed to be good enough to eat.
Yes.
Kind of the idea.
All right. Watch out, though. I'm going to cut
Come
it
back
from
here.
this side.
Step back.
Ah, I don't want to step on your toe.
It's a delicate thing, huh?
That is a big piece.
I want to have to show the inside. Oh yeah. Okay, wait. And there
Oh, look at the layers on
is
that.
Smith Island cake.
I really want to
And
eat it.
that is what it looks like on the inside.
I really want to eat it.
All right.
I want to eat it.
Let's try it.
Can I get a fork?
Yes.
I want to
Go
eat
for
it.
Wait, it's your mom's birthday.
Yeah, Mom gets to have the first taste.
Let me have a piece. Let me have a piece.
It's good.
Let me
It's
have
fun.
it.
I will be getting back in Altspace in a second
Let
here.
me try it.
See, news message from Dave. Oh, look, Dave says happy birthday.
Oh, thanks, Dave.
I can't get it.
Here.
Whoa,
Hello, Dave. Hello, Dave. Hello, Dave.
Oh, wow.
How was that?
So good.
Was it really good, huh?
That is
Granny gets another fork.
very
just-
chocolatey.
Just in case.
Yeah. Granny has to try it too.
Thank you, honey.
I do.
Yeah, it's you, but it's on a. There's a delay in Altspace.
Okay.
That's delicious.
All right.
Can I have another bite?
Well,
so
thank you
yummy.
everybody for joining us. That joined
Let
us
me
today at
have a bite.
Allspace, and anyone who happens to be watching on YouTube and or Twitch. What are they supposed to do again?
Let me go back here and
Fun.
watch out. Subscribe, click the bell, like.
All right, you want
Hit
to
the like
Do your
button.
sign off.
Want to sign
Subscribe,
off?
click the bell.
Okay. All right, we're gonna come on.
Do you sign
Stop.
off, Billy?
Subscribe.
Before you get too dizzy and fall over. Live long and prosper.
Sir.
Namaste.
Namaste.
No. All right. Again, thank you for joining us. And next week we'll be back at normal time at 2.
Hi, Dave.
We'll be back at 2 o'clock, and I don't know what I'm cooking yet, but please join us next time. All right. There we
I want
go.
more Smith Island cake. It's good.